Now we get to do both modes of this. Go and grab tiny bones in our graveyard, so we just make sure we grab one that's not that, or non-legendary. We hit the deluge there. We get rid of tiny bones, and then we win. Very cool. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing skeletons, and we did add a couple extra cards in here, or maybe one particularly, but as a 3 of, into this deck, and I kind of rerouted myself back to just playing mono black. I did splash red for a little bit, but I wanted to try out something else in the deck, but we'll cover the list very quickly and get into the game. So what we're trying to do is we are revolving around the creature archetype of a skeleton for the most part. So very quickly, if I pull these over, we have these 16 cards here: Forsaken Miner, Tiny Bones, Case's Stash Skeleton, which will make a skeleton for us, and Corpse of the Lost. Corpse of the Lost kind of being the MVP of the skeleton strategy and kind of our deck in general, as this is a reusable threat. If we descend on our turn, we can pick it back up and replay it, but basically it gives all of our skeletons haste plus an additional 1/0 while also making a 2/2 skeleton pirate creature token. That puts a lot of pressure on. This can allow us to hit for 9 on our turn 3 after we play like a Forsaken Miner, maybe a Tiny Bones. We can get a little bit more if you have a crazy hand where you just go Forsaken Miner and then play 2 more on turn 2, and then this, which we then hit a lot higher, obviously. But the hands are more likely to look like Forsaken Miner and Tiny Bones plus this, or Forsaken Miner or Tiny Bones plus Case into this. It's looking a little bit more like 9 is going to be kind of the average high end for that hit on turn 3. But at the end, if we descend, we can pick this back up and replay it, which gets us more. The buff adds as we add more of these in play. It's not like a legendary, so we don't lose that value there. But other than that, we are playing the kind of combo of Bloodletter and Rush of the Dread. If it's a combo you do not know or have not seen in a while, Bloodletter basically says if your opponent's to lose life on their turn, they lose twice that amount, which goes very well with the 9 we were talking about before. If we get like a crazy curve and do that 9 and we have this Bloodletter in play, we can hit them and that'll deal 18 damage in total on turn 3, which is already kind of crazy. But say we're against a deck that wants to grind it out and they get a lot of life, well, Bloodletter goes very well with the card Rush of Dread. This card says target opponent loses half their life rounded up. So basically what happens is, say your opponent's at 20, Rush of the Dread says, okay, no problem, I'm going to make you lose 10 life because that's half your life total. And Bloodletter says, very sick, I like how you did that, I'm going to take the other 10 away. So now if our opponent's at 40, Rush of the Dread does 20, and then Bloodletter says, sick man, I'm also going to do 20. And no matter what life total they're really at, Bloodletter will always get there because this says round up. So if it said rounded down, sometimes you could miss, but rounded up means you won't. And no matter what life total, even or odd, it will close out the game for you with Bloodletter in there. So other than that, we have one final spicy card outside of playing Gix for value, Hostile Investigator for value, Cut Down and Go for the Throat so we don't get ran over, of course, is playing this card. This is a reanimate spell that works very well, especially in terms of saying we get our board wiped or we run into kind of Golgari and they're like, cut down, go for the throat, get some of these kind of early creatures off the board, including Gix as well. If we have this in hand, we can do kind of turns where we say, okay, well, for 4 mana, I'm going to bring back the Forsaken Miner with Gix, and I have a Corpse in play, and I get to attack with haste off of that. Or I can just go ahead and say, wow, my board's looking pretty strong. I can reanimate this Bloodletter that I've either had to discard, or say I went and searched it up with another copy of this, which I did try to do in one game. So it's very, very cool, and I like it a lot, and just adds like another tutor effect kind of with this case. And another cool thing with this is if we put a Forsaken Miner in the deck and then we commit a crime like off a Tiny Bones Contact, then we can pay that 1 black mana to bring this back right away, and we didn't necessarily have to reanimate it. We just get more copies of these in there, which work very well whenever Corpse goes. Which then also, final note here, this will actually trigger the Corpse because it'll put a permanent into the graveyard if we do so, and then we can pick this back up, which then we can replay and make that token if we did get board wiped. So outside of that, I know it's a long intro. There's kind of a lot of synergies and cards to cover in this deck because we kind of have a lot going on in a lot of different directions. But if you all enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Other than that, I mean, yeah, right? 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, and followed by like another solid 3 drop. So sure. Kind of depends how our hand stacks up here. Play Forsaken Miner here. Play the case. My opponent already knows what I'm on. I can't block, so that's perfectly fine. Play the case, make it 2-1. Be a little bit more mana efficient. Because if I draw another 1-drop here and I don't draw the land for the Corpse of the Lost, then I can at least put like the Forsaken Miner in play and another 1-drop. Or maybe I'll find removal. There's a lot of things I still have options to find. Creatures have menace, can't do anything. Cavern for Skeleton. And we'll hit for 9 here, setting up for lethal. We just have to dodge lethal ourselves. And then obviously they might have some amount of removal, but this Forsaken Miner is probably going to be really clutch, or potentially really clutch at being aggressive. And then if we top deck another skeleton, we have a lot of top decks with this in play that make this pretty much lethal. Lightning Strike the 3-1 that has menace. I'd be looking to block here. Okay, never mind. I'm a liar. Wow, they attack. Okay, so sure, I guess. Here's this one. There's lethal. You know, sometimes Monterey gets in trouble if they ever hold back a creature because they're all just go, go, go. But here, maybe if you weren't going to strike for lethal, you just leave one creature back that can maybe block something just in case I have another skeleton in hand. But sure, we'll take the dub. We go first. I have the miner, I have kind of removal, and then I have the corpse, which is nice. I like having this set up, especially on like turn 1, because then it is one of the ones that does hit for 3 here, which is nice. What is my opponent? Gruul? Deserts. Okay. Interesting. There's 2. I got no follow-up play. We kind of hope they play something so I don't like lose any value here. Looks like I'm gonna lose value. Land. This one. Could have Besage, I guess. And am I not ready to play? Like, we're so ready to not have to deal with that card ever. So sick. We hit them for 6. They're down to 12. Maybe they have to cycle. Ooh, pass. Big Brotherhood in here, which does hurt me a ton because my corpse will lost the send part won't trigger. It only happens on your turn that you choose to pick that up. Yeah, I guess. Do this. Hold up my go for the throat. Move to combat. Hit for 9. On a 3. Pass. That's like the hard part about playing these cards with plot, dude. Is it hurts so bad. This Smuggler's Surprise isn't available. What do you have here? Terror? Topiary Stomper? This is fine. Topiary Stomper can't block. We'd have to be able to put 2 more lands into play. You draw off the Trailblazer. They do Topiary Stomper. Glimpse of the Core going to be just short. They have 1 block. They have no blocks. And then I'm going to spam the combat if I can. Yeah. Just going to make the right play there. I don't think there's any tricks that I can think of that would allow them to get another land into play there. But just do the right thing. Remove the creature and then declare my attackers. Kind of hard to look at. Obliged. Leave me alone. I'm going to keep. I'm going to draw. I have some removal. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Seems potentially bad. Here's the case. I have a corpse. They can cut down or go for the throat that. That'll be fine with me. Use your removal up, so I know you have less stuff in hand to operate with. Would be sick. Another land here is not bad. Ooh, I kind of need to get that Preacher off the battlefield, huh? I'd love to play corpse, but then they get a free block and everything. And that sucks. This has menace, so it gets to attack. Hit for 2, and then I'll pass. They try to just skip the combat and play it, then sure. Or attack with it, sure. I'm going to attack though. I guess they would have only made a 1-1 here. I put their life total lower. Get through combat. I feel like a land play shielded here is probably what I'm looking at. Airvac, okay. That's fine. Like, not like fine, but fine, you know? Play a corpse. Now no blocks are good. And using Caravac's ability is kind of pricey whenever you're staring at skeletons here. It does cost you 2 life to bring these things back. 4 mana. We're staring at a board. If they tap out and I rip a land, then Bloodletter's sick. But Virtue's pretty dope here. They're going to cast a Preacher. Looks like they will. Sure. They gain 12. We'll go back to 12. Do you attack? This Preacher has Menace. So we're like fine. I could name Vampire here. But do I just put on as much pressure as I can? I think so. Vampire. I play this Corpse, which makes me another creature, and now it's too large for the 2/4 to block. And then I play this Tiny Bones, which they probably just block Tiny Bones, but then they take 8. Maybe they go for a little bit bigger. Sure, down to 5. I have another skeleton I can play, or a Bloodletter that I can play, and then this alone would be super lethal. A Virtue here, not able to cast anything from their yard. Then there's a Shieldred. Don't attack. I take my draw, of course. Yep. There's that. This has Menace. And this also has Menace. I can get Caravac off and they're stuck with just a Shieldred in play. And then they'll block and I can pick up these corpses, I guess. Seems good to me. Or pick up a corpse at the very least. Both these have Menace. Of course. Does the tokens count, right? No, they don't. They're not the permanent. And I have a creature with Suspect on it, so this doesn't work. Now I have another Menace creature that they have to answer. Cut down does get it. But Bloodletter is also devastating. They can't really afford to attack because of haste. If they do attack, I find it kind of wild, but draw, yeah. Sure. Land, put this on the stack. There's a pause, so they have some form of removal. This one? Uncounterable, but that's obviously not going to matter here. Stack. Then we get a block on Minor, remove Bloodletter. I have to imagine. Sure. Huh? Sure and sure. So 4, 5, 6. I mean, yeah, I'm picking both these up. I think there's like no chance I don't. They make 2 Menace creatures, especially if I draw a land. They get 1 block. Now they can't really afford to attack. I don't think. I could be wrong. Go for the throw. It makes this a lot easier. Take my draw. Second land also does that. I guess these don't have Menace, right? Double attack so they can't keep their Preacher around. Sure. Up to 9. Losing the Shielded Decklist. I guess I should have tutored and just go for the throw to that, huh? Yeah, I should have held one of these, just like went and got a removal spell for this. Or just keep drawing lands. Although lands, not necessarily the worst. I can bring both those back. Good tutor here. Let's go ahead and grab one of these dredges. Then I guess I go ahead and remove the Shieldred because I don't want them to gain any more. I just take... yeah, that's fine. I forgot that this was able to come back. This is actually huge. It's actually a huge hit there that I forgot about. We declined both of these now because of the fact that if they play another Shieldred, I'd die if I picked one of those up. You see Tiny Bones joins up. I guess I lose if they have a Shieldred regardless. No? Now we get to do both modes of this. Go and grab Tiny Bones in our graveyard, so we just make sure we grab one that's not that. Or non-legendary. We hit the deluge there. We get rid of Tiny Bones, and then we win. Very cool. That's a very sick game. I really thought Shieldred was going to take it away for him. Yeah, sure, dude. Why not? I got skeletons, and my entire hand is castable in 2 mana. Not that I want to survive on that. I'm just saying it is. Sick. I have a Monastery Swift Spear. You guys might be thinking, well, Brick, how do you... How? Because I remove it, and I hit them, and then I cast it. Welcome to my team. Yeah! I can even do it again! It's just super sick. What if they were blue-red, and they're like, pick that back up? Oh, I could do it again? No. That's not fair. No, I'm gonna hold. I'm the aggressive deck. Like, procedurally, let's do skeleton here. I'm gonna put this on a stack. I'm just gonna hold the Swift Spear back, especially because like I can get Paralysis and give it a little bit more kind of a body to block, especially in a situation like this. We have to be careful. They just revealed that they're the fling version of the deck. Sure. Alright, but we get a cool play here. This is why we keep Swift Spear around. We get to go for the throw with this. Paralysis on our Swift Spear. We can just block with our Swift Spear here. That gets kind of chucked away. And then I can go to combat. I can attack here. So like, what's happening right now? My opponent's casting all my cards. And then I can just play this Forsaken Miner as well. Now, they're in like kind of a weird spot because I put a lot of creatures in play, although my creatures aren't necessarily the best of all time, that's for sure. They're like, can you get that flyer of mine out of the way, please? I'm like, But here we'll block just for safety reasons. Just to ensure that we're kind of looking fine. I get to play the Slick Shot back, don't it? Like, I have Tiny Bones. Do I just play a Swift Spear though? And then hold up, just go for the third? I think so. This can't block anyway, so get in there. I just do the same Swift Spear play, but now if they attack with Kamano, I can then do the opposite here. Like I can let the Swift Spear through, but shoot the Slick Shot. Ah, they're getting upset. Shit. Oh, they don't even want to go for it this time. Why, dude? I don't really know if I want to allow that, but I think I kind of have to. Here. Call my bluff. They're like, I don't trust that at all. Cut down huge because I get that out of the way. Let's go, dude. Most likely get nothing here. I get like no action here, most likely. Like I'm so... Oh, I didn't attack with Tiny Bones. Yeah, I wouldn't have blocked either. Feels like a pretty obvious play to me. I think I blundered that one away, chat. I have to get rid of this. I can't let them draw 3 more cards. And bump them. Now, at least I have a Death Toucher, so no matter how big their creatures get. We find a dead card. We find a card that gives that menace, though. That's pretty good. I would agree that that's good. Can I stop drawing Tiny Bones? Like, Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm fine with drawing tiny bones. It's just kind of like, I really wish I would stop. My opponent doesn't like me having tiny bones. They're about to be real upset because I just keep cheating. The tiny bones is great in this matchup. Don't get me wrong. But, like, also kind of annoying. I'm stuck on 3 lands. So isn't my opponent. Sure. Take 3. There's a land, I guess. I'll play another one of these. Hopefully they draw a deck card eventually that both these blocks make sense. I mean, I'm going for it. I feel like I have to. We're going to draw a card off that. I have 5 in play. Camp, sure. Again, like I said, I have 5 damage in play. It's not like Scamp gets to really get a ton of value here. Go to 1. Are you going to put me at 5? You are. Nice. Coming down to the wire. Let's see it. Scamp. And concession. Wow. That game was absurd. That might have been the craziest, like, games against Mono Red I've had in a while. So many tiny bones. So many, like, casting of their small creatures. And finding the cut down to get this off the board when it flipped. Like, if they got to disguise that, even if they took the entire turn away, right? They just leave it on their turn and then they do it. They would get to pay for this and get so many more cards back. I don't think we win from there. But, yeah, we came away with it. Honestly, super scary game to somehow win. But that's why adding removal is sometimes good in your decks. Turn goes first. I don't think this hand's keepable, but it's so hard because turn 1 this and the turn 2 this is never that bad. Like, if I hit lands, I feel good, but I feel like these cards are kind of whatever, right? I'm gonna maul. I mean, I think we have to keep this now. I can always tutor this up with... let's say make me discard it, right? I'm gonna do that. Mono red. I feel like the story is gonna be different this time. It might not be just mono red, but I feel like the story is definitely gonna be different than the game we just played. And mono red's gonna run me through the ringer for sure. Are we lightning striking this? Is that what your decks become? Ooh, light the torch. Throw it, bro. Attaboy. Flick shot in the air, nothing to do. Attack, might as well. No removal, second slick shot. Oh god. Oh god. Wow. Nice awkward turn to play you and have you come in. I don't know, man. This one, I guess. Put pressure on while I can. Put pressure on the pin piece, if you would. A chess analogy. Like it's about to be a non-game for sure. I can't imagine 2 of these coming in play this turn and I not be dead. They come and play, and for free, it's already 6 damage plus whatever 4 cards are in their hand. Play with fires plus 6, so that's already 12. Well, I guess I did that wrong. What? I mean, honestly, this is about to be the grossest turn of all time, and nothing really even happened. Why would you put it on the creature that's already threatening? I guess because it'll be a ground creature next turn. Isn't it crazy that I almost have lethal? If I would have hit this and curve and then hit a land here instead and played this bloodletter, they would have died. Isn't that wild? I don't think there's a way I win. I just don't believe it. Play this. It's like, what do I do? Leave these back and then just don't do anything? I have 9, 10, 11. Oh, it's so close. It would have been lethal if I'd have played this first. I mean, I have to play for my out, I guess. It's just most likely not there. I also have this. Anger is enough. I'm good. All right. Well, chat. I mean, I feel like if I just hit. I feel like if I just hit this case first, I would have been fine. Oh, man. He's trying to make it hard, but at least I have a way to tutor up some stuff. Bro, why do I have to play mono red 4 times in a row? Like, I just don't want to do this. This is the 3rd time in a row, but can I get any other match, please? I think it's mono red on the draw a couple games in a row is not good for my mental. Sure. At least I found a cut down, I suppose. Skeleton. Cut down this while I can. Play Tiny Bones. Now, the downside is if I block this Kamano with Tiny Bones, it gets exiled, so this won't be able to fetch it back out. Second Kamano, sure. We have another Play with Fire. Ancestral Anger, if you attack, I'm blocking. I don't care. I'll get that thing off the board. They missed a land, it seems. This doesn't flip necessarily. There's a library for a card, put it in. I have 8 Tiny Bones in there. This one's the exiled one. I think I just play this corpse. Go for that, and then hit. This isn't here. We're just kind of hoping for no threat. And then I'll just tutor next turn. Well, there's a threat. Sure. Alright, my bad. Second Ancestral Anger. And can't we wait for these cards to rotate, chat? Are you so excited? Oh, well, I mean, if there was a card to rip here, I guess. Hostile Investigator's not bad with 2 cards in hand. Guess I hold my 3-2 back. That's like a losing game plan here. But I can trade. Well, I guess it gets exiled. Urbrass Forge. You couldn't have just played that earlier? Instead of playing no Swiss Spear? We can kind of beat that card in a weird way. Then the Ancestral Anger loses so much more value. Okay, I didn't mean here. I'll take this block and I'll take this block, of course. I feel like them trading that off there doesn't make a ton of sense, but I could be wrong. I can now do this, put a card in my yard and draw, so I should draw first. See if there's not something more important I want to play, and like Gix is a pretty good card. This will make a X2. I guess I play Gix. And then I just pass here. I really have to. What do I even get with this? Can't be an it. Brother. Hello? This one. I am now in this position. This is 12 damage, by the way. And I'm just hope top deck mode's bad. Now, Kamano, as annoying as Kamano is, we have to take out the Slick Shot. Slick Shot's so much worse. And I will take 1 draw. I feel like I need to find some amount of pressure. Now, if I hit a land, Lightning Strike doesn't kill me. Monstrous Rage doesn't kill me. I allow it. So I just can't lose my Bloodletter here. Could be a Witch Stalker Frenzy. That's pretty obvious. I could bring back Tiny Bones, which would then allow me to play a card from their graveyard, I guess. Yeah. Tiny Bones? How much work Kamano's put in? I'm in. I would say, of course, if Tiny Bones connects. And then I have a cut down to answer this. The 3-1. Hopefully there's no buff. Do we have? Wow! Ooh, boy, did we get away with that one. Well, you know, Maybe keep sending red my way. I don't know, man. We're 2-1 out of the 3 we just played is the mono red gauntlet, apparently. You know what? We're going to queue up again, and we're going to see if it's red again. So I can just finish 2-2 on the night and upset. At least I go first, chat. Mono red. I am keeping this hand, though. 2 bloodletters is a little clunky. Just because they're so expensive, but getting to play the minor into the case into potentially ripping the good 3-drop off the top. Dude, it's mono red again. These people aren't real, bro. There's no way. Arena, come on. Alright. We need to draw a 3-drop. We need to draw a 3-drop. And they were good. The bloodletter is going to be devastating. If I don't draw the 3-drop, I'm upset. Phoenix check. So. Interesting. So they can't block. I think they were just reading it. You get rid of my... Both these creatures can't block. Yeah, I think they realized that. And they're like, never mind. I'm just going face. So this thing can't block. I'll race them. 3-drop off the top, please. Preferably a good 3-drop, too. Okay. I mean, at least I got a playable. I can't be upset about finding a playable card. Especially because, like... the way Reds played these turns, I think they're going to try to go all out, put as much damage on me as they can, which will shut the Witchstalker Frenzy off. Go all out, just don't kill me. Okay. Obliterating Bolt. Glad you played it. Is this enough? I don't think so, right? It doesn't really matter. Let's do Empire, I guess. Play this one. This is 4 for 8. And a 6. Now I have a decently good blocker. And I will block with this one because I have a second one. So it's not like second obliterating bolt. Sure. Have menace, so it's not like they're blockable. Hopefully we're just not dead. They have 1 red. They screwed up. So if this is a... well, I guess with lightning strike it doesn't matter, but yeah, I guess we'll take down red again. We'll finish with the 3-1 record against you. Sure. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. I think it's a good sign for the deck more than anything if we go up against mono red a couple of times and on a winning record while also not being able to play cards that are going to rotate. And the reason why I say that, these 2 aren't necessarily a big deal, and we didn't really get to see them here, but like Play with Fire's rotating, Commando's rotating. There's so many cards that we've seen them playing against us so far that we won't have to deal with in the future. And if mono red's taking a big hit by losing all those, they might get new cards, we never know. But if mono red takes a big hit losing those and we're competing with them now, that's a great sign for us. So should we have lost a mono red game in the past? Maybe. We should be probably 2-2, but a win's a win. I'm going to take it. All right, team. Here we are, and it performed very, very well. I think I lost 1 game to some deck I've never seen before. Like, literally never seen before. And at some point, they doppelganged, like, 3 of the gain life artifact, and I just couldn't beat them, which was whack. Even though, like, I have these. But the problem was I kept a slow hand with, like, 4 lands. And like a 2-3 drops and a 4 drop, and then I drew 4 lands in a row, so I just couldn't like actually play the game and race them early. So I just waited, and then they sunfalled me, and I just didn't want to play anymore, so I left. But yeah, other than that, I think we went like 7-1, I believe. We had like a really, really good record here. I can actually pull it up just to double check. But like I was saying there before with that mono red match and kind of these other aggro decks, Boros sometimes gives us a problem because Boros is a little bit weird because they can't afford to throw 2 creatures in front of our case creature. Like, for example, like this creature's annoying because it has menace in a way, but in being 3-1, you would normally find it devastating, especially against mono red. They don't want to block that very often because they don't want to use a spell on my turn. They want to use it on their turn, so the prowess matters. But to block this, like they have to block with 2, and then the corpse is making it 3. So then I put the creature without prowess, so the creature is not going to get big enough. Like in front of it, so I get to remove it kind of for free. And then now my case is online, and giving your opponent a tutor is very awful to do. But pulling this up, yeah, it was 7-1, and I won every game that we were on the play. Every single one we won on the play, and then we lost one game on the draw, which was to Mono Red, I believe. Unless I'm missing a game somewhere, I don't know. But the games where I put this exact list together, there was another list I accidentally queued up with the old list that I like copied over, and I lost that game, which I think it put it under the same category, but that was with the old list I was playing, where there was like none of these cards that I was really trying, so I don't really count that as the same game because I wasn't testing the same cards. And once I realized, I just picked them up. But other than that, I mean, it went well. It went very good. I think Bloodletter proved why it's so good in this deck. Again, Rush of the Dread, a little less so. And I think the only part about Rush of the Dread that was kind of conflicting in here was trying to do this plan as well. Like, would we appreciate this, like, being a couple more 2-drop creatures? So even if they're not necessarily skeletons, I can put a nice lower end creature in there that the Dirge can pull back, or even something, for example, like a Preacher of the Schism. Like, having that in here as a 2/4 blocker that's really good and really nice and help us out in that Boros matchup, would that not be better? Because if that dies and say our Forsaken Miner dies, well, I can do this and I can bring both those creatures back, or I can bring the Tiny Bones plus the Preacher back. Same with like Gix, obviously, but I'm not really sure. The Rush of the Dread combo didn't happen today. We won by either being really aggressive or just out grinding our opponent for the most part, which is like nice to see. Hostile Investigator was actually kind of nice, and it also can just be brought back for the same amount of mana here and just like be a good, decent card. But other than that, I think the games explained it pretty well. I think it went pretty uniform. I did mess up on the case play a little bit. I should have probably just went ahead and activated it and went and got a Go for the Throat to make the game not as tight as it was. We did end up still winning. We did it in time. It's just sometimes it's not going to be in time there, where I had to go for the Throat that, and I took a little bit more damage than I probably should have. I think I actually took a big chunk. I think they almost attacked with Shielded, if I remember right. So I actually took a lot of damage. But I think just having this available is nice. The only downside is I don't get to bring this skeleton back, which is kind of misleading, and the Haunted Dog is an ETB. So even if I wanted to play it here, like, my opponent's still making 2 dogs, and that's kind of like weird, because then it kind of shoulder checks this, and now this play with the dog, and that's a little bit worse. So it's kind of weird to play that in here. I'm not really sure, but either way, I did enjoy playing this card, and I hope if you try it, it's an uncommon. If you already have this deck, it should be pretty easy to put this card in. But if you try it and you enjoy it, or you find out maybe the better 2-drops and maybe some 3-drops we should be playing over some of this top end, like I'm referring to this in general, even if you think Hostile Investigator maybe not the move, any of this you think about cutting. And also, if we get to that point, you start to get to the point that you might be able to trim a little bit of land when you're not so top heavy. If 3 mana is the highest drop, you can probably go down in land, which helps you fit another card in and things like that. But outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.